So Tucker Carlson surprised me a little bit the other night because he decided to take a couple shots, pretty clear shots, at the new Republican policy agenda that they released, the Commitment to America. This is interesting. So it's interesting that he's criticizing it, but then also the substance of what he's saying is interesting because, you know what, I'll save it for after he says it, but it almost sounds like he wants them to make the platform worse.
That's what's happening in the United States. House Republicans just spelled out what they're running on. It's a document called the Commitment to America. It's fine. Probably not much in it you disagree with it.
Okay, that is not true. It is literally like fortune cookie level platitudes, and it's totally light on details and specifics, and it's all the same claptrap you've heard all the time. Is we want a strong economy. Oh, congratulations! What a fucking genius idea! You want a good economy? Wow. You are against crime, and you say Democrats are for crime. Oh, man.
Have you heard of it? No, you probably haven't. You probably haven't read it. Nobody really cares. Why? Because there's nothing real in it. There's not
That is definitely true.
Single word in that document about the attacks on the American family that you see every day. That's at the center of most people's concerns. How are my kids? Will they have a life that resembles mine?
The attacks on the American family that you hear about every day. What on earth does that mean? I sincerely don't know what he's referring to. Is it like a stretch? Is it a reach to say, like, trans issues are undermining the nuclear family? Like, is that the idea? I'm curious. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm trying to be kind and figure out, like, where are you coming from? What are you saying? What's the attack on the American family? Is it school curriculums teaching like CRT? Because I don't know how that relates back to the family. I'm at a loss.
That was called the American dream. Does it still exist? Will they be able to afford to live the way they grew up? Will they have the opportunities that we had? No. People are upset about that. Why wouldn't they be? But nobody says it.
So that's interesting. So at the end there, he makes this overture to, hey, is the next generation going to be able to afford the way we lived? So there are like some economic undertones there. But this is what's so pernicious about Tucker Carlson is that sometimes he always sprinkles in the fake populism every now and then, but he always redirects the support of his audience to standard establishment Republicans. And standard establishment Republicans all support the same thing. Tax cuts for the wealthy. Deregulation. I mean, Tucker promotes politicians like Donald Trump who destroyed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and sided with the predatory payday loan industry. Trump took $1 million for his inauguration from the predatory payday loan industry. And then he turned around and dropped the lawsuits that were ongoing into them and dropped the new regulations that were going into effect against them. This is what he did. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau returned $12 billion to defrauded Americans when banks charged them all these bogus fees. I got a check back because I was sold some bogus identity theft protection from a credit card company. And then I got a check back for like $400 or something because there was an investigation by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And they said, this is fraudulent. There's no actual program. They're just taking your money. And so that's the government looking out for the people. Donald Trump gets in there, establishment Republicans get in there, and they say, no, I don't like that. Destroy the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This is what they do. And so he's acting like, oh, I'm Mr. Populist, I'm looking out for the working class. But then why do you support all these politicians who are actively destroying the working class? Why do you do that? You do that because it's fake. Because it's fake. Now, obviously, he has on screen here, in the midst of this rant about how, the GOP agenda is bad, which, based, true, it is bad. You're showing an Italian fascist on the screen who praised Benito Mussolini. And by the way, what did she run on? She ran on all culture war stuff. I showed you her platform. I showed you her beliefs. So she doesn't think gay people should be able to get married. And she also doesn't think gay people should be able to adopt. Her party is a direct descendant of Benito Mussolini's. Barely trying to hide the fascism, if at all. And Tucker looks at that and says, that's what I want. So, you want a flavor, a variety of fascism? What exactly? I would love to see what Tucker would want the Republican agenda to say. What do you want it to say? I'm very curious. So, on the one hand, the argument here is that you should do more culture war stuff in the platform, which is genuinely psychotic, right? But then on the other hand, it's like, you should lie more about your economic positions. You should pretend even more to support social programs, even though you destroy all the social programs. That's the gist of the criticism. So, either way, I'm interested. I'm surprised that he took any pot shots whatsoever. I thought he would go, the Hannity route and like more fall in line than anything else. He didn't do that. You're about to see, I got a story coming up. There is not just a Republican civil war in the sense that you have the Trump people versus the DeSantis people. You also have a split in right-wing media. So Eric Bolling over on Newsmax, former Fox News host, he's going to go after Tucker viciously. So you're seeing all these schisms, and they're only getting worse and worse over time. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.